I'm International Master William Paschall. What is up this morning? Monday? No, it's Wednesday. Can't remember what day it is. It's been a weird week. I'm playing an over the board tournament and started yesterday. Lost a very stupid endgame that I never should have lost. What's up? So I'm not sure everybody expected me to stream. I didn't have like a defined schedule and told people I would be streaming last this week, but we do have some time. I'm going to do a short stream, about an hour and a half today, and we can go over the game I played and maybe play a few Blitz games, get some challenges later. But if you don't have time to tune in live, you can always watch. The replay. I think a lot of our subscribers might want to check it out and see, how I lost my game yesterday. Always fun. So I'm gonna go over this game and then take a few Blitz challenges. I lost very stupidly, but nevertheless it was kind of an interesting game. I was playing black against a FIDE master from India. These guys, the players from India seem generally underrated, and you have to be careful. He was about 2350, but that could mean he's like 2450 strength. But objectively, he didn't play that well. I think he's legit rated. So this is my game with black. My opponent played e4. I played the Sicilian. My opponent played knight f3, and I didn't have any preparation. I didn't know who I was going to play. I didn't know who I was going to play against. I really don't usually prepare much for the first round when the pairings are made 5 minutes before the game. So I just sort of take my chances. And unfortunately, he chose something that I don't really like. I decided to play my main opening, which was the Sicilian. He plays knight f3, and now I usually play knight c6, sometimes d6, and sometimes g6. I decided to play knight c6 because, honestly, I've been getting tons of Roslimos lately, and I was kind of hoping for Roslim. I've had a lot of practice on the stream. If he goes into open Sicilian, I'm also well prepared, pretty much. I've got various things I could do, but he did this. And this is a problem. I have always had a problem with this move order here. The delayed Alapin Sicilian. I never really took the time to develop a concrete system. I've been going back and forth from many different systems. Sometimes I play d5, sometimes I play knight f6. If this guy did a chess-based profile on me or something, he would probably see that I don't have a great score against a c3 Sicilian. Very possible. I don't know if this is his normal repertoire or not, or he just saw that I don't have a good score against this opening, but it's a problem because my knight's on c6. I just want to point this out to people who play the Sicilian or the c3 Sicilian. This is particularly annoying when black has played knight c6. Black's options are a lot more limited. You're constantly facing the threat of d4, d5. I would much prefer to people just play c3 on move 2. This knight c6 creates problems. So the main moves are d5 and knight f6 and e6, and I've played all the moves. The problem is, if I play e6, d4, I have to play d5, and he can play an advanced French. And I just don't really know the advanced French. I really don't know the advanced French well enough. So e6 is kind of out the window. I have to play either d5 or knight f6. Objectively, knight f6 is the main move. After d5 takes, queen takes d5, my knight is on c6 early. So they play d4. And now, I experimented with moves like bishop f5. I can't remember what I did. My analysis isn't deep enough. This is a move. I don't know the theory well enough. So I basically decided to play knight f6, which is the main move. now e5, now knight d5. And now, unfortunately, he didn't play the main line, which is d4. He decided to play bishop c4, which is the other main variation. And I don't know. I just don't know this that deeply as I should. So basically what I did here is make it a kind of calculated risk. At this point, like, black's supposed to play knight b6, and I've played knight b6 before. The problem is that's like the main line of the c3 Sicilian, and a lot of these guys who play c3 know the theory extremely deeply. So I was unsure about my knowledge versus his in this kind of variation, like knight b6 here. I don't really like c4. That's a move that's very, very sharp and risky. Like d5 takes, queen takes, castles, or sorry, knight a3, bishop e6. I lost to someone on sound in a simul game here because I just don't know the theory deeply enough. And this is extremely well known. So I didn't want to play something that he would be like better prepared. So I just played e6. And the problem here in this variation is that black has a hard time getting this bishop in the game. I have a bad bishop. This is a very serious problem for black, like strategically, you know. So it seems like this variation is second best. Like knight b6 is a better move. And also I've got problems getting my bishop out. Castles, d6, d4, and now cd4, cd4. I made a mistake because again I'm not that expert in the theory. I'm supposed to play bishop e7. This is like a very subtle improvement to play bishop e7 rather than exchange on e5. I made a mistake here. It's a minor inaccuracy, but somewhat significant. I think that still black's position isn't easy to play after queen e2. Uber driver sent me this message that he found on YouTube, like a Bill Lombardi video where he was going over this exact plan for white. So I never really knew Lombardi, but apparently you can find on YouTube videos where he's talking about this idea of queen e4 behind the pawn on e5, initiating a kingside attack. I mean, it's very standard. It's actually more akin to a queen pawn. Yeah, I'm used to playing this type of ideas in the Queen's Gambit Accepted or various queen pawn games as well, where white is able to play e5. So I make a slight mistake taking here because I don't remember the theory. It's a very minor mistake. But I think the problem is that I opened the d file, so he might be able to put more pressure on my d5 knight. Takes, here, queen e2, and black's just slightly worse. Oh, by the way, like I found some games where black played like this, trying to trade queens, but this just looks like lame for black. So all right, takes here. I'm slightly worse. Castles. You know, here I actually thought about insane things like g5. I mean, you got to be creative, but this is just, you know, I mean, I have to admit that I thought about this for like 2 minutes, but I realized that it's mentally, you know, insane. So, but it's okay to consider creative options. Castle's the problem again is my bishop can't get out, so white is slightly better. He plays queen e4. I play the best move now. He's threatening knight g5, sometimes bishop g5, so I play queen c7. I'm putting pressure on the e5 pawn. I'm not worried about losing this. Take, knight b4, winning the exchange. So, I mean, there's still like games here. I expected him to play bishop d3, and then I would play g6. And if bishop h6, here's Tivyakov-Kramnik, 1989. White is slightly better. That's all there is to it. I made a slight inaccuracy in the opening. But he plays this horrible move. Well, this isn't so bad, but a3. He's afraid of that knight b4 idea. a3 is not such a bad move. Now, there's 3 games here where this happened, and I was reluctant to put my knight on the side of the board. That's what the engine says is the best move. It's kind of like a St. George, but I didn't consider this. This is pretty cool. And I saw the problem with this bishop, but I don't like my knight out on the side of the board, like a Chigorin. So this is the positional problem with my whole game. My knight on c6. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Arsenal. Like, you can almost sacrifice this pawn in any position. It's like, you can practically, because he has so many white square weaknesses, like you can just like give it away. I mean, his white squares are like a sieve, you know. So pretty much, and plus my bishop would open up. Pretty much any position where you sacrifice this pawn is like valid. You know, he has so many weaknesses on the white squares. There's just no way. But I was reluctant to put my knight on the side of the board, so I just played rook d8, and I've often used this plan, like bishop d7, bishop e8. Because if white tries to start like a kingside attack, knight g5, h4, h5, the bishop on e8 can kind of hold up the kingside. I had a game like this with Levy, actually years ago. Now he plays this horrible move. I was like stunned, b4, and now without the engine, you have to find this. I was like, dude, this is hanging. This is weak. There's like a bishop here. This pawn, I was looking at knight takes e5, like, hey, maybe I have a combination. There's just so many weak points in white's position, and I have this amazing move in this position. Black needs to like exchange pieces to free himself, but it never occurred to me. The space advantage is nice, but white is overextended now. b4, I mean, b4 was a horrible move. I was shocked, honestly. And like, I don't care if he goes here, fine, you know, have a bad bishop. The move is incredible. You know, the engine will point it out, but this, it never occurred to me. I can play knight d4. Knight d4, and if knight d4, queen c4, I just simply take this off. And if queen d4, I have knight b6. It just like forces a trade of pieces, and black is just better. It's devastating. Like b4 is a horrible move. I don't understand what he's thinking. But I couldn't find it. You know, I was looking at knight takes c5. This is even stronger, like a5 first, then b5, then here. I forced him to like weaken his queen side. Trading pieces in a good way. I mean, I'm not sure about a5, but if I had seen this, I would have played it. So all I need to do is like free myself by trading pieces. Instead, I played this, which is okay. Now my opponent goes here, and I should have played b5 right away. I played g6, he plays this, I played b5, and now he should probably play bishop takes d5, rook takes d5, queen e3. This is the plan he found later to go here. What if he does not capture knight? Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, he just like this other guy played rook e1. I mean, that's a sensible move, overprotecting your e5. There's a couple games there. But b4 is just like weakening. What if he does not capture knight? Well, I'm just trading his piece off. He's like losing his e5 pawn. There's nothing he can do. His position is like, he has to capture the knight. This point on e5 that's the whole point of his entire position, is overextended. And knight d4 just trades off the defender of e5. White's position is almost like clearly worse after knight d4. Yeah, no, g6 is a move I'm going to have to play when he goes bishop d3. So I was like preempting it, you know. If I play b5, he's going to play bishop d3. So I was like, all right, let's make it like a little more tricky. If I play this, if I play b5, he plays this, I have to play g6 anyway. I thought, well, maybe this will keep the tension a little more, allow him to make a mistake or something. Here, b5, bishop a2, and now he's like worse. Yeah, this doesn't do anything, but it wins the game. It's so sick. It actually wins the game for white. It's so perverse. Like, a5, and now I'm just better. B takes a5. Here it's really tough to recapture. Like, I have all three recaptures, and I don't know which one to do. I took with a rook to pressure a3. I think the computer likes knight takes. I was slightly concerned about my knight, you know, taking pressure off the center, and where is it going to go? You know, is it going to go to c4? So I like the pressure on a3. Here, now I could actually take this pawn, but I couldn't calculate that far. So I just played this. And then I was like in a state of shock. He played bishop takes d5. At first I didn't understand. I was like, what? What did I miss? Like, This is a shocking move. He should have played it before instead of retreating his bishop. But the plan is cool. He's got this. He's actually worse. You know, this move saves him. Takes, queen e3, and he's just going to plant his knight on e4 and go in here. So white is fine because he finds the saving plan of knight e4, knight f6. It's almost like a defensive plan. It basically is. I play queen d8 to get off the file. He plays this, and now I'm slightly better, but it's probably nothing. I should play b4 right away. Instead, I played rook d3. He plays this. I went back. He plays this. Waste of time, but he does make luft. And now I just traded pawns. Everything was fine. Takes, knight takes, rook takes, and then rook d1. And white has absolutely nothing here. White is probably like slightly worse because he's overextended and he has like slight weakness. The problem was after rook d5, I didn't know which way to recapture. I started to get in time pressure. I had more time than him, and then in this position I thought for like 10 minutes. Because I literally, you know, I'm a little concerned about getting like mated on the back rank. Basically, I wanted to play queen takes, knight f6 check, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen d3, but I saw this. Like this type of thing where his queen was coming here and threatening to come in here just basically freaked me out. You know, I was panicking because he has this annoying move. I mean, I don't know. I have no time to play like bishop takes f3 because of mate. So I was sitting there and thinking like, and I also realized if I don't take with the queen, like I take with the bishop, or if I take with a knight, you know, it's like safer. So I'm literally sitting there. If you turn on the engine, it's like all three captures. Check this out. All three captures are 0.0 or 0.0, 0.0, 0.0. Like this is impossible to decide like which way to take. Like it's impossible to decide. I sat there. I wasted like 10, 12 minutes on this capture. I finally was like, all right, let's just play it safe. I don't want my bishop to be blocked. Like knight takes is safe, but still my bishop is like blocked. And like, what do I do? You know? So let's just take with the bishop and we'll just trade his knight off, you know, whatever. And I'm a tiny bit better. It's probably a draw. And the other thing I thought about was if he goes knight f6 check, which he did, I can just play king g7. This is the best move. This is literally the best move. And I realized I could play king g7. I was like, I can just play king g7. I'm fine. I was a little bit scared of like this. And I'll just go h6, and he's got nothing. He's just got nothing. It's like here, I just take. It's totally a draw, but if anybody's better, it's probably black because his bishop is so bad. But instead I was like, no, let's just take. It's a draw, whatever. So I didn't expect to win. It's a fortress draw. The problem is I'm like tiny bit worse here. After bishop takes f3, queen f3, like there is the back rank mate, but I have a monster knight on d5, so it's just a draw. But at this point, I realized, you know, what should I do? Like play h5 or something? Then he comes in here. I have to trade his queen off with queen f8. I was afraid like there's some way he could possibly make progress with g4. I don't know. Let's say I play like h5, queen f4, knight d5, queen h6. Here, like queen d2 or something, but objectively it's just a draw. Like there's no way I would ever lose. I mean, there's no way I would ever win this position with white. I would not win this game with white. There's no way I would win. The one way you could lose for black is to like get pinned, to take the pawn on g5 and get pinned. Like there's some variations where you take here. Say there's no check, he would have something like that. If he could get this kind of position, like queen e5, I'm lost. There's like nothing I can do. This is the one place where you could lose. So all I have to do is like play knight d5, and then I'm keeping pressure on this. Probably doesn't matter though, and he could sack it. So I guess I was worried about maybe like this or something. Queen g3, knight f6. I have a check here though. So even here, I have like check, king h2. I mean, I don't think that black is better. His bishop's very strong. But objectively, it should be a draw. But my idea was, after queen takes, I just put my pawn on a dark square to help get a little bit of dark square control, and I'll put my king on h7 if I have to, and it's just a draw. But the problem was, I have to play knight d5 first. I have to play knight d5 first, and then h6 on the next move. I don't know. Whatever. Queen d1, h6. h6 is the next move. I think you could play h5, but it seems riskier. Computer wants to play h5. h6 or h5, whatever. We don't want him... Maybe this is even easier. There's just no way white can win. And it's so sick that I lost this position. I mean, it's ridiculous. Queen takes f3. I started to get in time pressure, and I played this idiotic h6. I was like, I just forgot that he can play this and fork my knight and my pawn. I just reversed the order of moves I should play this. So now queen f4 hits my knight and hits my pawn. And if I go into an endgame like this, for example, knight d3, I guess I could play knight d3, queen h6, queen f8, queen d2, knight d2, or knight b2, queen b2. This looks like very bad. This pawn on f6. I don't think that this is okay for black. I could be lost here. So I played instead the best chance, I thought, which was queen f8, bishop a3, knight d5, bishop here, knight f4, bishop h6. And all the pawns are on one side, and his extra pawn is doubled. So his only chance to win is to like get a past like h pawn. But my king is here, you know, to stop it. I think that this is a draw, even after I screwed it up. The problem is my position felt very passive, so I just can see the only winning plan for white is h4, h5. So he like has to bring his king like up here. Even if he gets his king to like d6 or something, I'm just moving my king back and forth. King f8, king e8, king f8, king e8. Then he plays like g4, h5. My knight has to be able to draw. It's a draw according to the engine. But I managed to blunder like two more times. King f8, g4, king g8, king g2, king f8, king f3. And now again, like I just have to chill and stay like on g8. Just keep doing the same thing. It's ridiculous. But the problem was like move 38 and the time control is move 40. And I was down to like 2 minutes. Over the last 10 moves, I used up most of my time. I don't remember exactly, but I started to be in time pressure. I was low. Like he had like 7 minutes, I had 2. And so all I have to do is like move my king back and forth to g8 and f8. And I don't think that white can make progress. But I played this, you know, and okay, this is actually not a problem. Move 39, he's still not protecting f6, so I should just go back to f8, and I'm still fine. He also has a plan of f5, but I still think that black is not going to lose this. And unfortunately, the one pivotal thing for me in this endgame is the fact that his goddamn bishop is the right color bishop. If it was the wrong color bishop, it would be a draw. Cold, you know. But he just happens to have the right color bishop for the queening square. So I have to be really careful. It's like move 39, and I played... All I have to do is play king f8. But I was like thinking, oh, maybe I should think about rerouting my knight, you know, going here or something, trying to stop his king. And it's important that I stay on this. So he's going to play king e5 next, protect that and free his bishop. I don't really know what my idea was. I mean, knight b6, I think to come to d7 maybe. That must have been what it was. It was that I was going to transfer my knight to d7. That would keep control of like e5 and c5 and keep it on f6. But he plays bishop h6. I almost like fell out of my chair, you know. I was like, oh my god, now this stops my king from coming back to f8. It's unbelievable. Now knight d5, bishop g7. And this is insane. I blundered and then I blundered again, and I think it's still not a win for white. Because I have this miracle like G5, and I don't see how I can make progress. He plays F3, King D7, and then it looks like he can't make progress, because if he plays like King E5, I play here. And if he tries to play H4, I check, and then I can take the pawn on H4. But there's this trick he has, where he goes F3, King D7, F4. Does knight F4 work after G5, F3? G5, F3. Well, that's the game. Knight F4 work? No, because he has H4. That's the problem. So after F3, I have to play King D7. And now he plays F4, and I felt physically ill. I thought I was lost. 100%. I thought I was lost here. But then the more I looked at it, I kept seeing these weird variations. We're in the second time control now. Knight takes F4 is his idea, and he wins after H4. It's very brilliant. There's nothing I can do. I'm like totally gone. Because the H pawn just goes down. But this is unbelievable. Like, black isn't lost here. So I played the right move, of course. G takes F. G5. And now the point is this pawn, he's like frozen to the pawn. I play E5. And now I have two connectors. He plays H4. I played King E6. And now H5. And this is a critical moment. I thought I was lost. And I'm not lost here. After two blunders, I'm still not lost. The problem was there was one critical variation I didn't see. There's actually two very important lines. I have to play knight c3 check. And it was funny that I was starting to get low on time and I totally misevaluated this. His bishop is like non-existent. I just play knight c3 check, and my fear was this. I have f3. Threatening f2 because the knight is controlling e2. You don't stop the h-pawn, but he can't stop mine. It's so sick. Now he has to go here, and then I play e4. And what I missed was, yeah, you can't stop the h-pawn, but you can't stop mine either. This is so sick. I didn't see I have this knight d1 check. And it's like, I'm actually better now after knight d1 check. King d2, f2, king e2, e3, h7, knight c3 check, king f1, knight e4. We can both promote. Let's see. Queen, knight d2 check, king e2, queen, king takes. Like, your guess is as good as mine. It's a draw, according to the computer. The problem is, honestly, I just thought I was lost, and I looked at this for like 5 minutes, and I thought I was lost because of this, not even realizing how strong f3 is. But he also has king f3. Now here I have king f5, and it looks like I'm too slow. His pawn is, his pawn is coming down, but he can't do that right away because of king g6. I mean, among other things, I could simply come back. There's no way he can win. But whatever. He has g6, e4 check. I thought I was too slow, but I'm not. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Like king f2, e3 check, king f3, e2. King f2, f3, and I'm winning. I don't know how this works. Takes. Knight d1 check. King here. Like, I don't know if I would have been able to find this. He queens first. But I queen with check. It's unbelievable. He's actually getting mated here. But it's insane that I could lose like such a stupidly, you know, basically drawn position. It never should have come to this. Like, it should have been a simple draw if I hadn't blundered my h-pawn like an idiot. But I had 3 chances to save the game. Here I just didn't think it was, I thought it was lost. And I played f3, but it does nothing. F3 just king here, and g6. It's over. Yeah, I mean the third blunder with knight c3. I mean, I can be sort of forgiven for that, but on the other hand, like, you really have to play it. I mean, it's not like f3 came close to working, you know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I guess I was just too depressed and angry at myself for the previous blunders, but I mean, you know, at this point, like, you kind of have to do this. You have to see, like, at least this is some sort of chance. Because he doesn't have a bishop. He just doesn't have a bishop. It's like my knight and my 2 pawns and my king against just his king. It just feels like the pawns aren't far enough up. That was the problem. Skaveningen. Yeah, what's up? So this is how I lost. I just, like, gave up on the position I was getting in time pressure. I mean, honestly, I think when I played f3, I was down to like 5 minutes or something. Yeah, it is study-like. It's a study-like endgame. But I mean, you should be able to find it because it's basically the only chance. When you eliminate, you know, what is that expression? Anyway, when you eliminate all the other possibilities, this is the only other one left. Knight c3 check. The other variation that's really cool, though, the computer found. First classical tournament in 5 years, scored a disappointing 7 out of 9 in my rating group. Missed first place by a half point out of 200 people. Process of elimination. This is the coolest part, though. Here, I have knight e4. I was thinking of, like, how can I get my knight to g5 earlier in the game? You know, this is so sick. Knight g5 does it all. It stops h7 and f7. King e2. Knight takes f6. Now check this out. Bishop f6. King f6. No. gf7. What about this? Here. I mean, this kind of endgame is important. I saw this. You know, I would have gone for this in an instant. He can't win this position. I have to have 2 connected pawns, though, not just 1. For example, now this is easy. There's no way the white, he can't win my pawns without leaving the h pawn hanging. So it was really brutal. I mean, like, this position, seriously, at move 30, when I blundered, like, I would never expect to win this position with white. I would just, like, try a little bit and offer a draw after a few moves. I can't believe I lost this position. This is so sick. Immediately blunder. Like, I don't think I even spent much time on h6. I can probably check this. As soon as I played it, I saw it. I was like, oh man. h6 is just like, I haven't played chess in a tournament since October move. Like, moving too fast, like it's an online Blitz game. This is the kind of move I wouldn't normally make, that kind of blunder. It put me on the edge, and then I wasn't up to the task. It's so sad. Anyway, alright, we got a challenge here from Goblin Pawn Shop. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I can stay for about an hour to play some Blitz, but that was... I don't feel like my opponent really played well. You gotta give him credit in the end game. Well, anyway, he played the opening well, then badly. The middle game was horrible for white. He played the end game and the opening well, and my middle game was better. But I feel like my time use is again at fault. I'm always getting in time pressure. Sharing is caring, Arsenal fan. But it's therapeutic to show your losses. It's therapy. It's weird. I mean, I consider myself to be a good endgame player, so it hurts even more for me when I lose endgames. But frankly, I was a little bit nervous about the clock. I felt like I had no winning chances, and I'm down like to 5 minutes against 15 or something, and I kind of rushed a little bit. It's amazing the position we got to, though. I mean, basically, he shouldn't win with the doubled pawn there. His position just isn't good enough. So we had this game last week. Was it against you? It was against you, right? You played the same thing. Queen b3, knight f6, gf6. I mean, I doubt this is good for black. Oh, you played the other way last time. Or was it a different player? This is the Harvard professor variation. Yeah, this is what he used to do. This isn't good. I mean, I'm left with just a central pawn. It's like a central passer. Black is lost here. You have no compensation for protect pass pawn on d4. So, Scheveningen, 7 out of 9. Well, you know, man, honestly, like, these people's ratings at that rating category are so wildly inaccurate, I would imagine, that it's pretty hard to gain points. Playing, like, you know, you'd be better off, like, playing more like mastery if you could somehow get into a higher category. Like in the United States, typically they have open sections where you could like play up, which is annoying for the stronger players, but I would imagine you got a lot of people who are still underrated in that kind of group. Yeah. All right. Anything's easy after my last endgame. So you have 2100 performance on Polish and 1900 FIDE. Yeah, rating systems. I'm always like ranting about rating systems. Yesterday was just painful. I don't know. I didn't play that well. What can I say? Nothing to say. I think I played okay, but you know, my usual FIDE master level. We'll see. Today I have likely a draw. Playing my old friend Farago Ivan. We've drawn like every game we ever played, so it's probably going to be that way for life. I wouldn't mind just a quick draw though to forget about yesterday's game, and so d5 here. This was the plan. This doesn't win a piece though. He has bishop g4. However, yeah, maybe this was a mistake by me. This isn't so easy. I mean, White is winning. He has a little bit of counterplay. I wanted to force trade of pieces there. Yes, Scheveningen for 5 years without ever playing. I mean, you're definitely underrated. But I mean, how strong were the strongest player? You know, how strong was the winner of your group? You had one loss where your opponent played really well, and 2 other draws that should have been easy wins. So you should have had like 8 out of 9 if you were playing well. Who was the winner of the section? How many points did they score? Can FIDE rated tournaments be online? Well, they're trying to do some kind of hybrid thing, but normally not. They recently had a hybrid. You didn't play against the winner. Whoa, knight f5. I mean f5. I don't know what to play here. This is kind of annoying. Alright. Knight d3. Goblin Paschall doing a good job to survive. This pawn is still really strong though. It should be enough to win. But it doesn't feel like I played this optimally. Dude, what? What is that? No, I'm not analyzing like other people's games today. From the evil chess site. Every federation is useless, Arsenal. I was just thinking, imagine what it's like to be like an Australian chess player. In lockdown permanently. That must suck. Schieber Spieler. Does this even work? I'm gonna find like the only way to not win this position. How you doing, Schieber Spieler? Well, COVID restrictions in the UK. Are you reopening now, Arsenal fan? Isn't this the great freedom? The day of freedom or whatever coming up? I'm playing this sort of stupidly. The pawn shop is not 1500. He's 1900 in rapid. They might cancel the Olympics. But I can't believe Australia. How crazy that is. They have no vaccinations. What, like, why? Why do they have 18% in a civilized country? Only 18% of people got vaccinated so far. It's so crazy. What am I going to do here? Hello, boys and girls. World loser. You can check out my game. We just analyzed my game. Oh my god. King d4. This dude's gonna save this ending. I don't know, Goblin Pawn Shop is certainly better than 1500. Keeps finding annoying moves. World Loser. World Loser, what about you? World Loser played recently too. So there's some tournaments, at least a few tournaments in Poland. Now, if Bishop d3, where do I go? I guess King e5. No, that doesn't make sense. Damn. Alright. Take my rook off the 7th. I don't like the way I played this ending. Though I still should be winning. Roof construction, guys. They know I'm streaming or something. I played this like such an idiot. Maybe bishop c2 was better. I finally figured it out. But man, he's made it hard to make progress here. Just that pawn on e6 is extremely powerful. What used to be my pawn on d5, right? I used to think I was good at endgames. I'm not so sure anymore. Where is my king supposed to go here? Relentless. Now we have a slight threat. If not for the mate in 1, he's good. Alright. I've got time for like 3 or 4 games. I've got to go in around 45 minutes. So probably like 3 games I can play. That's not a good opening. I mean, he did a good job to survive to an endgame from that, what is basically lost. White is winning in the first 10 moves against Goblin Pawnshop. I mean, he's basically just playing a losing opening. G takes F, as we played last week, was more interesting. Then I don't have a passed pawn. Druv good. So, Skavening again. This is a passive option. Bishop b7 and c6 and h6, as played by, I guess, Michael Adams and Kramnik. But I don't understand why Black would opt for this. We've got really nice weather here, finally. This knight a6 is a bit strange. This is really going to be difficult to get it back in the game. A very unorthodox way of playing the Queen's Gambit declined, to say the least. The unorthodoxy. Yeah, he's just like making random moves. Random move day. Yesterday was International Chess Day too. It's such a pleasure to like come back and lose my first tournament game in 6 months on International Chess Day. But Bishop G3. Oof. Then you're like, no, well, it doesn't make that much sense. I take it back. Fell into my trap. My the deep trap. Deep William. That was Schieberspieler. You have to check out my wonderful loss from yesterday. It was brilliant. I missed the study like draw after like blundering twice to get to a very sketchy endgame. I feel like it's very time pressure related though. If I just had a little more time. I'm always too slow. After the game, like Corporate Joel, the organizer, was like, but you had knight c3. I was like, what is he talking about? I didn't think it worked. It's just ridiculous to lose such a simple position that I lost. Alright. Another player here who's like stubbornly defending bad position. Yeah, it was sick, man. I had this great draw that I missed. It never should have come to that, though. Like, it never should have been a question. It was a fortress. I don't feel like I would have lost it, like, if I had just been a little more confident and it was like the rapid tournament I hold on Tuesdays. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It feels kind of weird playing again. I don't know. I don't know if I felt that comfortable at the board. But at least I don't have to wear a mask. Last tournaments with the mask, I mean, I'm definitely not anti-masker, but it's honestly, it is annoying playing with the mask on, and you know, that was one thing. The other thing is that it's like really cold in our playing hall with the air conditioning, which I am totally not used to. As any of you who watch my stream know, I'm basically used to sitting in my office and playing chess at like 95 degrees. Now I'm suddenly plunged into this building where there's like very like cool air conditioning, and I didn't take like a sweater or like a hoodie or anything. I was surprised though, like these people must be used to air conditioning because there's like one person in the tournament hall with like a sweatshirt. I was freaking freezing. I was gonna put a towel over my body to not freeze. I mean, when you're used to like 95 degrees and it's suddenly like 68 or something, whatever it was, like 70 with the air conditioning on. Alright, this pawn is gonna do it. A6. Your shoes were squelching after the event finished. I have squeaky shoes. I mean, I'm just used to the hot now. So I'd be, you know, playing in my normal environment if it's hot. I don't have any air conditioning, as I've been complaining about all summer. It's just like, I was freezing. Tough defense again. All of my opponents specialize in annoying defense. Here we go again. They're used to bad positions and they know how to defend them. That's like Karpov's secret. Alright, dude, my fan is driving me crazy. Am I crazy? Everything is annoying. I just really hate myself for losing. I'm gonna take a sweatshirt. Next round. I mean, not too many. This is why I play in this tournament. The conditions are actually good. Ironically, And I'm complaining that there's air conditioning. You know, how many Hungarian chess tournaments have air-conditioned rooms? Like, probably not many. I'm actually complaining about it. I would find anything to complain about, right? Probably I shouldn't trade queens here. Schieberspieler told me that queen trades are welcome. Yeah, man, it's terrible, Arsenal. The attack defender. They only play in tournaments with AC in the summer. I remember my first tournament in Balaton in 1996. It was hot as hell. In like a really cheap sort of 2-star hotel. That was my first experience of chess in Hungary. Yeah, this guy's crazy with the defense. But that's a sign that you're bad at the opening. Dhruv Gul's openings are terrible. So he consequently had to get better at other stages, and defending is his best strength. Defending bad positions is the consequence. That's why they taught Karpov not to play the opening. I mean, they didn't teach Karpov how to play openings on purpose, so he would become a better defender. I don't know. You know, it's an interesting discussion. Probably not optimal, Arsenal. If you think about it, you know, it probably makes you into a kind of more passive defensive player. Yeah, no. We're not doing takebacks. I did the take back. I gave him the take back by accident. I can't believe it. I just clicked the green button. I was like, we're not doing take backs. I gave him the take back. I tried to click red and went green. But I think it's interesting question. The debate about it changes your style. Now we got him. That's the second pawn. It's a big one. Nobody's surviving this. Ain't nobody surviving this one. You can drag it out though. Two pawns is good enough for me. Just a matter of time. I'm sure I could even screw this up. 5 versus 3, yeah. That is a good deal, especially exchanging rooks. Offer him a resign. Now I do. I offer you a resign. That's like when I told my friend caught his opponent cheating. Offered him to resign. Offer you a resignation. Even I can't mess this up. Even here, his technique is good. Like the way he plays this. See that? Like, you couldn't really play it better. Try to get me to undouble my pawns. Okay, this is a little exaggerated. I think we need to resign here. for real now. Like, why are you not resigning? Alright. Skaven Inga, an Arsenal fan. Alright, I have more losses. Let's see, we got Schieberspieler not on the list today, thank God. Skaven Inga, did you see the game I lost? Are you serious? He played the variation I lost against. But he didn't play Bishop C4. I literally just showed my game that I lost. You got cold in 25 degrees. Now I'm unable to play normal chess. You can play E6 too, that's another variation. D6 is the main line. But you know, normally E6 is played by people like earlier on. Like if you play E6 on move 2, you're getting that a lot. This is just like a kind of standard isolated queen pawn position. I mean, I guess I really don't know this variation too well, to be frank. Karpov again comes to mind. Why is Karpov coming up so much today? If knight there, bishop d7. What am I supposed to play here? Man, I really don't know this line. I don't have time for many games. I'm gonna have to leave in like 30 minutes. I've got to play another game today. I actually have a lesson too, so busy schedule. I'm only on a short stream today. Normally I'm here till 1:30, but I'm leaving in 30 minutes. Just a short stream. I'm playing an over the board tournament at the moment, and I don't have time to stay. So thanks guys for tuning in for the short stream. No stream tomorrow night. Our next stream will be Friday morning, another short one. We'll do the same thing Friday morning. Yeah, I mean, this is Karpov's slick standard plan in the sort of panovs that arise from this type of position. Dude, please don't beg. A lot of people are already here, so I just take the challenges from the subscribers I've got, and if not, then we just take them in order. I don't think anybody in the list is a subscriber currently. Maybe Skaven Inga was, because he got a gift sub. Skaven Inga's not even a subscriber? I thought you got a gift sub a while ago. I'm gonna have to go under the desk. Will you play against Farago? I mean, there's no like pre-arranged draw. But honestly, Schieberspieler, like we played like 9 draws. I mean, I'm black, and if he offers a draw, I'm taking it. I just don't want to, you know, it's not like it's a tournament for money. If it was like an open, I might play for a win. But honestly, I'm not into like trying to beat old grandmasters with black. Probably even with white, wouldn't really change my mind. It's kind of a matter of respect for me. You know, he usually respects me, so I respect him. If we're not in a tournament where it's like a Swiss or something, it's normal to agree for a draw. I assume he'll offer a draw. Dude, it's my move. I'm sitting here. Alright. So knight e7, bishop g5, check. King g5, knight g5. I mean, can you do that? It's a weird position. Yeah, Wiki Poo, sorry, I gotta go. So those guys, I'm only gonna have time for 2 more games. Good to see you, though. Wiki Poo. I gotta leave for a over the board tournament. I have a short stream today. Thanks, Arsenal. Learn how to lose drawn endgames. I did a great illustration of that yesterday. So he's actually doing this. Holy crap. What? Okay. You're threatening to play queen h5, and you're threatening my bishop. So like bishop f4. There's also f6. f6. Don't ask me what's going on here. He sacrificed the piece. You may have compensation for it. Man, that's crazy. Bishop h7, king h7, knight g5 check, and knight e4. What does bishop f4 do? Then if queen h5, I'm getting mated, right? No, I mean bishop f4, queen h5, bishop g5. You're right. I have bishop g5 there. Maybe that was the best. He was really gambling. Lucky that I'm alright here. I don't know about that opening, though. I might have misplayed it. This just goes to show again that my knowledge of the c3 Sicilian is just not sufficient. I'm a sitting duck. The problem is that I've played like too many different systems, and I still haven't addressed it, honestly. I have never really addressed the issue. I have like limited knowledge of 5 different ways of playing the black side of the c3 Sicilian, but no systematic knowledge of one. It's not enough. Too many holes in my theoretical knowledge here in the c3. Knight f6. He's trying to mate me. Rook h4. It's incredible. I guess my king can go to f7 if I have to. This is crazy that he still has so many threats. Rook h4, rook g5. Buying time here. Black should be winning with careful defense, up a piece for 2 pawns. But white's pretty well coordinated. I mean, even if like bishop d2, I guess knight f6. Now knight f6 is winning. That simplifies greatly. We should be winning. We should be winning here easily. Until I blunder. Until the next blunder. Found the defense. Why is it so difficult to win this? All right, that was fun. Good game, guys. Maybe this is my last game. These games have been too long. Don't forget to subscribe to the stream. Queen f3 after g6, I think. Turning queen h3, looking at f6. Yeah, I didn't like g6. Arsenal, wait, you were playing the Benoni before. Are you still playing Benoni? We had queens get declined last time. Schieberspieler fans. Like the Catalan. Guys, don't forget, no normal streams this week, just Friday. Next week, we'll get back to a usual schedule, pretty much. Okay, close Catalan. Is queen c2 the main move? Yeah. Man, in my tournament yesterday, by the way, like, my game was like the longest game in both groups. The hardest fought game, but it was funny because like two of the other groups, did you see how bad the games were? In Schieberspieler, I mean, in the Juhas versus Rokit, like the guy just like had a good opening and like blundered and lost in like three moves to like a 2-move combination, and then another guy on the other board, Kovaci Barnabash, just like dropped a rook to like a 2-move combination. Well, this is like kindergarten compared to my blunders. I look good. The way these guys were losing. Seriously, I'm like, damn. Like, I make blunders in endgames, but these guys are just like dropping pieces and stuff. They're just getting mated, and it looked like a kindergarten tournament. Anybody play King's Indian Defense? No. There was a Grunfeld where the guy equalized and then dropped a rook. I mean, I wish people would like just drop rooks against me. There was this guy from Guatemala playing white. The position was totally equal, and his opponent just lets him do like a back rank combination to win a rook. I mean, it happens, but actually both games in my group that were decisive were horrifying. It looked like Scholastic tournament. The one guy got, and it's interesting because both players who lost like with horrible blunders, they played the opening really well. They were well prepared. They equalized. Or actually, the one game was like the guy had actually tricked his opponent with very good preparation. Yeah, well, I mean, clearly Kovaci must be like suspect tactically. If he can't see that, I mean, he must have good opening prep, but be like weak tactically. But the other game was like, damn, the guy got a good opening. He was better. He had trapped Yuaj King in the center with like this very cool opening prep, and then like just lost in 3 moves because he couldn't move his king like to a safe square. Like the first thing that popped in my head was like, just play King B8 and you're good, and he just wouldn't do it. He couldn't take the time to think about his king safety. I was thinking, oh my god, we've got a 2100 who's like a genius, and then he lost in 3 moves. So I'm optimistic that I might win some games. I mean, if people play like that, it is the first round, but still, like, my game was like extremely good compared to those. That was horrible. But Kovaci, he's younger than you, no? He's not in the same age range. Yeah, he's like, he looks like he's like 17. I started to like forget who I've played against. There was some kid that I played in the Budapest Spring Festival a couple of years ago. It wasn't him though, it was someone else. But I'm like not sure. I'm like, wait, did I play that guy? I used to remember all my opponents. Now we've caught Arsenal in a line that he doesn't really know. Found the weak point. The Catalan. It's his kryptonite, like the C3 Sicilian is mine. Alright. Nope. The c5 pawn is not hanging. This looks really strong. Now the c5 pawn is hanging. It's Arsenal's worst Benoni ever. Oh wait, it's not a Benoni. Alright. The trolls topic was so absurd and random that he had to explain his own thing that no one knew about. Okay. Thanks for updating us. Right. I like when... Whoa, alright. We're coming in. For better or for worse. In sorrow. What's the expression? When you get married? Yeah. I can't remember my wedding vows. Sorrow and in death. No. Anyway, Arsenal needs the last rites here. This is officially like his worst opening ever against me. Probably. But he could stay alive. Yeah, he's a tricky guy and you want to be careful against him. You definitely want to be careful against him. I'm just trying to remember that. In sorrow and in health? No. In sickness and in health. Arsenal is in sickness. Yeah, this is not good. I wanted to take his knight at f6, but I didn't see a way to finish him off quickly there. He could kind of struggle and survive. So we're going to go with the full pawn roller. Oh, the diagonal. Is that important? Damn. This has to be good. Oof. Yeah, we had a pass pawn theme today. Catalan. What went wrong there? His center disappeared. That doesn't usually happen in a closed Catalan. You're supposed to have pawns like there, there, and there. Where did your pawns go? Alright, play like Kasparov. Last game, guys, gotta go. Thanks for joining me for the short stream and enjoying my horrible loss. Yeah, honestly, I don't know, Arsenal. Maybe you should play the open Catalan. Get a little bit more tacticalness there. Tacticality. Okay, c5. I used to argue that it's better to play the closed Catalan for black if you're playing for a win, because you keep the pieces on the board more. But I mean, there's arguments for both ways. I think the open Catalan, like, there's a lot more theory though. Sheber's tough. I'm almost playing the London. Oh, by the way, Moogle Devin told me something funny. He played in one of Kamsky's simul's, and Kamsky is like banning the London system from his simul's. He said he's like sick of it. But it's like, dude, like you've been promoting the London like for the last 15 years of your chess career, and now you're gonna like ask people to not play the London? That's like totally inconsistent. How can he like play the London? Like he's one of the biggest promoters of London of all time, and now turn around? I think he's a little unstable, honestly. Like how can you dare? Like he's one of the worst offenders with the London system. So I'm not the only one who like bans the London from my simul's now. Kamsky has converted. To be an anti-Londoner. Honestly, it is like massively annoying, especially when that's all anyone plays. The Scotch. Do you think there's a reason for that? Who's playing the Scotch mostly? Gawain Jones? Who's the leading protagonist? I let him get his knight on c5. Play like Kasparov. 2200 rapid. Respectable. I would think the Scotch is a good opening, but it does lead to exchanges. Quite a bit of exchanges. Take care, Schieberspieler. Thanks for joining us. We will see you soon. Indeed. Whoa. What? Bishop takes. D6. Queen F5. Bishop takes C5. Are you serious? He's like planned this out. You planned this out? You intentionally did? 96 to hang your pawn? Wow. That's pretty crazy. It's crazy. Alright guys, alarm time. I hate my alarm. This sort of ingenious play by black. Interesting. It's opposite color bishops, I just realized. So black has tremendous drawing chances here. Down a pawn. Such creative play by black. Using those tactics. Bishop c2. You were suggesting that for him or for me? Gave him the move. Kramnik was a proponent. Kramnik played the Scotch? Really? Well, Kasparov started it way back in the day. The whole Scotch thing. Damn, dude. It's like impossible to do anything against him. I just hate the Scotch 4 Knights. I feel like the Scotch is interesting. The Scotch 4 Knights is just, it's just like nothing for white. I would play e4, e5 every game of my life with black. If people promise to play the Scotch 4 Knights. GP Bear. Ooh, I've got c5. Might as well go for it, I guess. Never hurts to go for it. It's lucky that he played b6. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Next stream Friday. Thanks, everyone, for your support. I will see you then. Wish me luck. Likely a draw today, though. Tomorrow, I think, I'm not sure who I play. Yeah, this prevents bishop b5. If knight f6, bishop c6, so black's in big trouble. I can't actually force it through, but maybe, yeah, my knight's dominated. Now we're winning on the king side and queen side. No, I thought he was going the other way there. Objectively, he should try to go there. He can't stop these pawns on the king side. Yeah, play like Kasparov had a draw-ish position. But, see, it's the b6, it's just a blunder. I mean, a5 is just a blunder, so you just trade. It's probably a draw. I don't think I can win this. Lonely Oreo must go. This should be a draw. White can try to win, but I don't think it's enough. Alright, thanks for the games, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.